Well, yesterday I got a break in the weather and I got out and put the house wrap up on the top floor of the house there. I did notice when I was up there that stick out, that hangout up there on the top, a roof underlayment on there that I had up there on that had all come off, and it was just bare wood on that. And then I got to noticing over here, let's see if we can get high enough to see that, on this corner on the bay window there, that underlayment is starting to come loose on there, and that's been up there for a long time, so it's not surprising that it's getting weathered and torn loose. But it looks like that windstorm caught a loose section of it where it overhangs on the soffit there and picked it up and tore it loose from the roof. So I'm going to have to do a little work on that too. Well, anyway, it turned out to be a nice day today. There's supposed to be like a 30-40% chance of rain today, and I see cumulus clouds building up and stuff, but so far it's pretty nice, and there's a little breeze, so that's got stuff dried out pretty good. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and get the machine going and then get up there and take a look at that and see what it needs, and then see if I can't fix that. There are going to be some changes to that here sometime in the future. I don't know whether it's in the near future or not, but I've got to do some changes to some of that. Redesign that a little bit or something. I don't know what I'm going to do, but anyway, I still need to get it weatherproofed for now. So I'll go ahead and go get the machine started up and warmed up, and then I'll get up there and take a look at that and see what I can do to fix that up. Well, that's disappointing, but not surprising. That roofing underlayment on there has failed from the back edge up about a foot and a half in some places. So it's OSB sheeting on there, and it's pretty mushy there on the front face and on this side, back about a foot and a half or so. The underlying structure is mostly pretty good for now. There's really not any rot in the structural members there, the 2x6s, or 2x4s, 2x6s. So it's going to take a little more than I anticipated. I've cut back all of the roof membrane, the underlayment membrane, back about a foot and a half or so from the eaves, back to where I've got good solid wood. And I'll go ahead and get a saw and saw that bad wood out of there. I'm going to let it dry out a little bit right now. I've got it exposed to the sun. And so the one face over there on the other side, on the bay there where it sticks out, it's actually not in bad shape. It had moisture underneath the underlayment, underneath the roof membrane, but it's not rotten over there on that side. But this front face is the OSB is just disintegrating there, so I need to change that. So I need to gather up some materials and stuff. I've got some I have to look and see if I have some OSB around here someplace. If not, I'll have to find some plywood or go down and get a sheet OSB or something. But today's Sunday, so the lumberyard's not open today. Well, that stuff lasted 20 years, so that's not too bad, I guess. It's not only supposed to be exposed to the atmosphere or the sun and stuff for like 30 days or 60 days or something like that. So can't complain too much about that. Well, anyway, I better go gather up my crap and figure out what I need. I'm gonna need wonder bars or something to get the nails out of there, and my little saw and some other stuff to do some deconstruction up there. And I need to go find that OSB. This is what we got here. This side over here is damp and it's swelled up down here on the bottom. It's actually drying out pretty good now. I took the underlayment off. We got a valley over there, and that's got damp right there because the stuff failed there. This is what we're looking at here. I don't remember what that was. I think it was a 3M product. It's ice and water shield. It's like a real heavy tar paper. It's not like the Grace bituthane. It's like a real heavy tar paper, but it's fiberglass reinforced, and it did have adhesive on the back of it. And I used this on the roof of the house when we put the roof of the house on. And I think I had 2 or 3 rows back with that stuff. I wish now that I'd put it all the way up on it, but it's fine. But it's not self-healing like bituthane is. But anyway, this stuff had failed. It got pretty thin down here on this lower end, so you can see how this OSB is falling apart here. Don't need a wrecking bar to take that stuff off of there. Now the wood is starting to get soft there, but that's good enough for now because I'm going to have to redesign this whole roof on here and redo it somehow anyway. So what I'm going to do is take this stuff off. Back here, about 1.5 feet or so on this front face. This is the front face here. There's the front of the bay window down there. And then over on this face over here, this side over here is not quite as bad, but it's bad enough. So I'm just going to cut this back about 1 foot. Yeah, it's solid right back there, about 1.5 feet. So I'm going to cut this back that far and splice in a new pieces there. And I just went down in the house and dug out some OSB that I think I can make work. Then once I get that on there, then we'll get some more roofing membrane and cover everything all up again. Get it all the way up to the top up there. Well, that stuff up there, once you get up past about 2 feet off the edge here, that stuff's pretty good. There's no water underneath it. It's stuck to the ground. This section right here is a little bit thin. And see, it's picking up a little bit. There it is. Picked up a little bit there, but the one up above it is stuck down pretty good. Well, the doggone cell phone camera works pretty good, but it doesn't do wide angle very well. It doesn't do close-up stuff very well. So I'm getting ready to go start tearing that roof apart. And of course, it was nice and sunny and warm out here. This morning I actually had to take my hat off. Now it's clouding up. It's probably going to rain, and that figures when you start taking a roof off that it's going to start raining. Well, anyway, that's what my roof looks like. There's a little eyebrow there. See, that's still in pretty good shape there, but I'd replaced all the wood on that last year. And this side over here, this one looks pretty bad because it's all black, but that's just mainly from the tar coming out of that roofing underlayment. This front over here and the other side are both, the OSB's pretty bad on it. Now that's function of OSB soaking up the water and swelling up and stuff and rotting out pretty fast because that's pretty crappy wood that they use to make that out of. But plywood wouldn't have come apart quite like that, but it's still been rotten and it's still been bad. Anyway, I'm gonna swing over there and start working on that. I got my tools set up here now. I got my nail gun and stuff for nailing the sheeting down, and the cap gun for nailing the underlayment down. But I haven't turned the air compressor on yet. I didn't figure there's any point in letting it run. I don't know how long it's going to take me to do this. In fact, I didn't even bring the OSB pieces that I've got up here. And didn't want those to be in the way. So I'll wait till I get this cleaned up here and ready for them, and then I'll bring the pieces up here. Maybe I'll even cut them down there. I don't know. It's a lot smarter to cut them down there on the ground than to do it up here. At least I'm not hanging off of a ladder. Well, I measured that back a foot and cut it off. I got back into solid wood there. I want to go ahead and swing around to the other side. And I got around the corner there and got that one mostly off, but I couldn't get the saw up there far enough. So I'm going to go down and get the little battery operated Sawzall, finish that cut, and to finish ripping that out of there. This doesn't go back into the house at all, so if it does rain, it's not going to get wet in there, but it's going to air those fascia boards out. Anyway, I got to go get the Sawzall and finish the cut on that plywood or that OSB so I can get it off there clean without making a big mangled up mess. Well, that lumber up there on the roof has had a chance to dry out now for a day or so. That's dried out enough now I can go ahead and put that sheeting back on there. But I got to looking at that other side over there, the one that I didn't do anything with, and I think I'm going to cut it off too and put a new piece in there. The outside edge of it is crumbling in my hand when I start pulling on it. So anyway, I think I'll fix that too. But right now I got to fix those other two pieces. Well, I've got a couple of pieces of scrap pieces of OSB there that I dug out of the house. Obviously those got a pitch on them, so I must have used them up there on the roof. Those are the cutoffs from when I did the gable ends on the house there a long time ago. They're in pretty good shape, so I had Judy help me mark those off and just run a chalk line on them. Got them setting up on some sawhorses and a little piece of 4-inch piece of styrofoam underneath them to run the blade into, so they don't run the blade into the metal and go all the way through the wood. I'll go ahead and set the saw up and cut those off, and take those up there and fit those in, and then I'm going to cut that other piece off of there too, and see if we can't dig out another scrap or enough scraps of wood there to fit into that one. I got those boards cut up and put in the basket. I got all my tools put in the basket. I got the air compressor out and plugged in. I got the air compressor, the air hose, tied onto the basket so it can go up and down with me. I need to go get some roofing nails to nail that flashing back down with once I put those new boards up on there. I probably should get a new battery for the camera too. This one's been running for quite a while, so I'll go reposition everything and go get some screws or nails, and I'll get out here and get to work on that. There's where the piece goes on this side here, east side of that bay window, and it won't hurt for that to dry out just a little bit more before we close it in. Got pieces scabbed in there on the front, the face, and on the west side. I've got some galvanized flashing that I made for that where the edges meet on that, but it doesn't come all the way down, so I got some more flashing I'm going to splice in there. And then there's a gap right there. That board already had a V cut in it. That was what's left over from the gable end right there. Anyway, that had a little bit of a V left in it there, so I'm going to take some flashing and cover that up rather than just let it sag in and fill up with water or something. And then I'll do the same thing. I'll add a little extension of flashing right there, and then over there where that pitch changes again. Now that looks a lot better. I took a piece of that aluminum flashing. I just bent it by hand just over the edge of this roof board here. It made a light bend in it, and slid it up behind that drip edge on that barge board. And that comes down, and that water should drain off of that a lot better than what it did before, instead of running back underneath the drip edge there. And then I run another piece of aluminum along this edge right here. That'll make a better drip edge. The sheathing, not the sheathing, but the underlayment will go over the top of that. And so that goes underneath this piece that comes down on that joint. Now I'll swing around on the other side and run a piece along it and cover up that big gaping hole over there. And then this side will be pretty much done. Now I can't finish this front face until I get that board on the other side, so I can put the underlayment over the top of that, kind of drape it over it. But I can start on this side and put the underlayment here. On this side I can slide it underneath that flashing that I just put in there and then tack it all down. Okay, better get to work. We got that little patch over that big gaping hole there, and the drip edge down along the edge there and over to the other side. So now I'll swing back around over that, on that face over there, and start putting the roof underlayment material down on there. Well, I got a piece of roof underlayment down on that west side. That's tacked down pretty good. Got it along that drip edge over there. The next thing I'll do is run a piece across the face over here, the front face, south face. But before I do that, I've got to fit in that piece that goes over there on that west side, east side, that little piece that I just cut out. I'm going to look at that. It looks like it's a little bit damp. I may just stop right here and let everything dry out again overnight a little bit. I don't have to work tomorrow, and it's supposed to be another nice day tomorrow. It's dry, and this little bit of breeze, that should dry that out pretty good. It'd be a lot better to have it dried out underneath that board when I put it on than to put it on wet there. Well, anyway, like I said, that first piece of underlayment went on over there, and I was going to put another one on, and I got to looking, and if I put, well, I'll put some across that eyebrow over there, from there over this way, and it'll go up through that gutter there, and then there'll be a piece that goes across from there over to here and overlaps this corner right here, this joint right here, and then the front piece will overlap both sides and go right on up. So I was going to try to start fitting another piece in there, but the piece as it goes up this front face here will overlap that. So I want to check this out over here and see if that needs to dry out a little bit more, and I may just go ahead and leave this for the rest of the day. Well, I don't know if it did any good to leave that open to dry overnight or not. It stayed dry overnight mostly, but it poured down rain for a little while early this morning. Not too bad right now. It's been clear and sunny now for several hours, so hopefully that'll have dried that out again, and there's a pretty good breeze blowing. Forecast says we're going to get a chance to get thunder showers today, but I'm going to get everything all packed up, put back on the machine, and get ready to go, get back to work again on it. We got the piece scabbed in over here on the east side of the eyebrow, on the east side of the bay. That all nailed in and everything and all closed in. It looked good. So I went ahead and put some of the underlayment there on the eyebrow. Got it tacked on. I run it over to where it run past that gutter right there, the valley. And then I put a piece on that east side and run it over here toward where it overlapped the front face. I'd already done the one over there on the west face of that bay yesterday. So now I've got a piece sticking here on the front of this, and that's tacked down. Now I guess I probably should put a couple more tacks in it just to hold it down, but I still got to cut some more pieces and run up that rest of that east side and this face over here. So it was pretty warm here for a while in the sunshine. There wasn't much of a breeze. And now we got a little bit of a cloud coming over, and there's a forecast for thunder showers. So we got a little sprinkle here a bit ago, but it held off now. So I'll just keep working on it. I got to get that sealed up now, get it waterproofed. Okay, that is done for now. It's not perfect by any means, but it's a lot better than it was. It should shed water. Can't get underneath those eaves where they get tight there, where that eyebrow comes up together. You can't get in there with a staple gun to staple that down. And the same thing up underneath there. But it's pretty well tacked down, I think, and pretty well overlapped and stuff. There's some that aren't very pretty, but it all should shed water now. All right, that's enough. I'm going to get down off of this thing and see what else I can do for the day.